All right, so robots, right? Like when you hear that, you probably think of, I don't know, like C3PO or those Boston Dynamics things doing backflips.
Yeah, the Terminator.
Exactly. But it's not what we're talking about today.
Not quite.
We're diving into something called robotic process automation, or RPA for short.
Mm-hmm.
And it might sound kind of, well, technical, right? But trust me, it's actually all about making our work lives, well, less robotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, ironically, using robots to make our lives more human, right?
Exactly. Less time staring at spreadsheets, more time for the stuff we actually enjoy. So to kick things off, what exactly is RPA?
Right.
Like, in a nutshell.
Okay, so imagine, you know those tasks you do every day at work? The ones that are like super repetitive, the same steps over and over?
Like copying and pasting stuff between different programs.
Exactly, that's prime RPA territory. Basically, it's software robots that can take over those mind-numbing tasks.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But how does this robot actually work? Like, what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, there's a whole process. First, you got to figure out which tasks are good candidates for automation, like things that are rule-based, predictable,
Like, if this, then that kind of thing.
Exactly, and high volume, something you do a lot. Then you actually build the bot using special RPA software. These tools let you basically record your actions, like clicking, typing, all that.
Ah, so the bot learns by watching you do it first.
Sort of. It's more like you tell it the steps in a language it understands, then you deploy the bot, let it loose on those tasks.
And just let it do its thing. No more human intervention.
Well, not quite. There's also monitoring, making sure the bot is working properly, catching any errors, making adjustments as needed.
Makes sense. Got to keep an eye on our little digital helpers, right?
Definitely. It's not like set it and forget it. It's more like set it, watch it, and refine it.
Okay, now I got to ask about AI. Our sources mention AI a lot, so I'm guessing it plays a big role here.
Huge. RPA on its own is great for those rule-based tasks, right? But AI brings, well, intelligence to the table.
So the bot can learn and make decisions.
Exactly. AI can help bots understand messy human language, like in emails or documents. It can analyze data, spot patterns, even predict stuff.
Wow, so it's like RPA is the brawn and AI is the brains.
Perfect analogy. They work best together.
Okay, so I'm sold. This sounds amazing.
Huh.
But let's get real. Does this mean robots are coming for our jobs? Like, is everyone going to be replaced by bots?
That's the million-dollar question, right? But honestly, most experts think it's not about replacing jobs. It's about changing them.
Changing them how?
Think about it. If bots take over the boring stuff, humans are freed up for, well, more human stuff.
Stuff that requires creativity, problem solving.
Exactly. RPA can handle the data entry, the number crunching, but it can't replace human judgment, empathy, all those things that make us, well, us.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So it's not human versus robot. It's more like human with robot.
Exactly. It's a collaboration. Like one example from our research is a bank that uses RPA to process loan applications. The bot handles all the initial data entry, credit checks, all that. But then a human loan officer takes over. They can use their expertise to actually talk to the customer, offer advice, make the final decision.
So it's like the bot takes care of the grunt work and the human can focus on the more personal, more complex stuff.
That's the idea. It's the best of both worlds.
I like that. Best of both worlds. So for someone listening who's thinking, okay, RPA sounds awesome, but how do I actually get started with this? Where do they even begin?
Well, the good news is you don't need to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Start small. Identify a specific process that's, ripe for automation.
Something that's, like we said, repetitive, rule-based, all that.
Yep. Then maybe do a pilot project, see how it goes, learn from that, then gradually scale up.
Don't boil the ocean, right?
Exactly. And as you get more comfortable, you can start thinking about incorporating AI, like we talked about.
So start small, think big, and don't be afraid to experiment a little.
That's the spirit.
This has been a really fascinating look at RPA. It's clear this technology has the power to, well, transform how we work. But I think the takeaway here is that it's not about robots taking over. It's about giving us the tools to do our jobs better, smarter, and maybe, just maybe, have a little more fun along the way.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about empowering people, right?
Exactly. So to our listeners, I want you to think about this. What tasks in your work life could you hand off to a bot? What would you do with that extra time and energy? It's worth considering because, well, the future of work is full of possibilities.
Absolutely. It's all about finding those possibilities.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll all have our own personal robot assistants like,
Like a super-powered R2-D2.
Exactly. Now that's the future I can get behind.
Mine would make coffee. Lots and lots of coffee.
Now you're talking.
But seriously, the potential here is huge, and it's only going to grow.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap things up here. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into RPA.
My pleasure. It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And maybe automate a few things along the way.
Couldn't hurt.